Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and this is a video that I did not want to make, because there are some things in the community that are difficult to talk about. There are matters involving content creators that are secrets that are known by few and spoken of by none. But sometimes events will occur that force us to reveal things that we otherwise would not want to. And due to a recent event that I experienced, I need to spread the truth about Chapter Master Valrak, because he's not who you think he is. I know he comes off as this kind of goofy, lovable son of a gun who just seems to know everything that's going to be coming out from Games Workshop, and his streams are delightful with all of the back and forth with chat and all the witty quips and everything, but it's all a facade. It's all a bright display to distract you from the truth of what you're witnessing and the danger that lies therein. So, as much as it hurts me to do so, I need to tell you the truth about Valrak. And before I do, I want to make it clear that this video does provide mountains of evidence supporting what I'm about to say. So please allow me to explain this revelation before making any personal judgments. So what you need to understand is that Chapter Master Valrak is a troll. I mean, he's a literal troll. He is the troll king, in fact. And I don't mean that in like the typical internet sense of him being a king of trollish activities, though that could be debated. No, he is the actual troll king. He's Throg, the troll king. Now, I know you're thinking that's ridiculous, Sotek. Throg's not real. He's a fictional Norscan troll that has been mutated enough by the Dark Gods to be intelligent enough to speak. How could he possibly be Chapter Master Valrak? And I asked the same question, but how does Valrak always know the future, right? How does he know all these things that no one should be able to know? You would think that a multi-million-dollar company like Games Workshop would have the most basic forms of security, and they do, right? They don't actually leak things. No. You see, Valrak says it himself. It's the whispers from the warp that tell him the future. It's these echoes from the realms of chaos that tell him the truth. I didn't believe it myself until a recent incident. You see, I was working on some content for a future lore video, and as I do, I tried to peer into possible futures. I tried to look into the winds of magic and see what truths I could uncover. So, as I've done in the past, I decided to unleash my tinfoil hat. But when I did so, the things I saw were not potential releases by Creative Assembly or Games Workshop or even the lore that I sought, but instead I must have put on the tinfoil hat at the same time that Valrak had his on, and there was a connection. There was a spark, and I saw things, so many terrible British things, and in that moment I saw the truth. So let me share with you what I've learned. First of all, let's actually look at the similarities, the shocking number of similarities between Chapter Master Valrak and Throg the Troll King. First, they have the exact same accent. Here, I'm going to take a clip. I'm going to play a moment from Throg.
You follow that Troll King, and you know that where the Troll King goes, death follows.
Okay, now, in a side-by-side comparison, listen to Valrak.
After the trailer got released, and I've just woke up again. I'd literally just slept in all my clothes.
It's the exact same. There's literally zero difference. I don't know how I didn't notice it before. Like, I just thought that's just what people from that part of Britain sound like. What, Manchester? I don't know where he's from.
Oh, well, I let you up mitten seas, aren't I? Anyhow, I'm middling of work, did you, Harry? So I let you get on. See ya.
But, you know, that's Northern England, right? That's just what they sound like. That's what I thought at the time. It was just like a typical voice actor from that part of the world. But no, it's Valrak. To go further, they look very similar. I know it doesn't appear so at first because, you know, Valrak, you know, he's at least vaguely human shaped, right, compared to Throg, but they're both large. Like, Valrak is like 6'4", 6'5". He's huge. He's giant. You know what else is giant? Throg. They're both huge. They're both large lads. Valrak is self-admitted that he is a large lad, and Throg is the largest lads of trolls. It's the same. But, okay, maybe that didn't convince you. Here's further evidence. Both have a unique ability. Throg the Troll King has the Wintertooth Crown, right? He has an item that allows him to influence entire legions, hordes of trolls and monsters. Valrak does the same thing. He's got an entire community of 40k fans, most of whom, or at least many of whom, are Space Marine fans. They're clearly monsters. They're clearly trolls. Like, of course, his chat is always full. Of course, they're always so chaotic and rambunctious. They're literally creatures of chaos. It's no wonder that he's been able to build such a large community. It's not because he's fun. It's not because he's got all these joyous little quips and he's got this lovely atmosphere. It's control. It's power given to him by the dark gods. But there's more. Valrak's #1 army and all the stuff you see around is the Imperial Fist, right? It's this weird yellow-colored Space Marine faction that, of all the things they could have picked in the 41st millennium to design themselves around, they picked a fist, a hand, you know, something that their Primarch only has one of now, which, you know, it's a little kind of insulting if you really think about it. But in any event, that's what a troll would pick. It's the perfect trollish army. You pick a faction that's represented by a fist who has a Primarch they supposedly love, whose whole thing is that all that's left of him is a frickin' fist. Unless he's alive, which of course he isn't, but Valrak tries to convince you he is because it distracts you from seeing the truth. It enforces the glamour that he has so that you see him as this lovable person instead of what he actually is, a monster. And furthermore, you know why he picked the Imperial Fist besides that trollish aspect? It's because of the yellow, that just gross yellow, because it reminds Throg of his favorite moment when he defeated Sigvald, and you know what happened. If you know, you know. The same color. It's the same color. No wonder he loves it so much. And what's the faction that Valrak's probably going to go into next because he loves it so much? The World Eaters. And what are the World Eaters? They're a chaos force who are all about kicking Slaanesh. It's a Khornate army. They love beating up Slaanesh guys. What did Throg enjoy the most in the end times? Beating up Slaanesh stuff. He killed Sigvald the Magnificent. Valrak killed Sigvald the Magnificent. But Sigvald came back in AOS, but did Throg? No, Throg was mentioned in AOS, but he didn't stay. See, Throg left AOS after his first mention. We heard that he fought an army of Stormcast Eternals and that he defeated but survived, and then he just mysteriously vanished. That's because he found a way out. Throg didn't like Age of Sigmar. He just really couldn't get into the lore. He didn't like it at all. Just like Chapter Master Valrak. He left the Age of Sigmar universe through a realm gate and he came to our world. He escaped from Games Workshop's control. That's how he knows so much. That's how he's able to get all these rumors. Because when he says the whispers in the warp, he's being literal. The Dark Gods are the ones who messed with Throg's brain. They mutated Throg so that this stupid Chaos Troll, this idiotic Norscan Ice Troll, gained the ability to speak and became, relatively speaking, intelligent. And what is Valrak? Relatively speaking, intelligent? He's just mutated further. And the Dark Gods whisper to him things that are going to happen in the future, and then he takes those whispers and he reveals them to us. Because he gets to troll the universe that he came from, being a universe made by Games Workshop. So he just continues the work of his Dark Gods. He's still a champion of chaos, a dangerous one at that. But here is the biggest piece of evidence. Here's the thing, the moment that I saw it in Valrak's mind, I realized who he really was. Because when I looked in Valrak's mind, I saw a moment. I saw a moment of when, for those who don't know, Chapter Master Valrak fell off of a roof, right? And he survived miraculously. If you look at him now, you can't even tell. He looks perfect, as if he just somehow healed from what would have crippled a mortal man. But Valrak is not a mortal man. He is a uber regenerating Chaos Troll. Because you know who else fell off a high building and survived miraculously and regenerated from it? Throg the Troll King. When he fought Gotrek and Felix, Throg was only defeated when his hammer got chopped off at the half by Gotrek and he stumbled backwards and he fell off the tallest tower in the Kislevite city of Prague. Everyone thought he fell to his death, but of course he didn't. He healed, he regenerated, and went on to become a nuisance in the end times. And then he died there, but came back in Age of Sigmar, because death can't keep a troll down. And he just shows up in alternate universes. So when Valrak was falling off that roof, what was going through his mind? What was going through his mind was seeing a dwarf and a manling on that roof and thinking, it's happening again. But despite the fact he fell off that roof, he survived and he regenerated, just like Throg. I rest my case, people. I think it's very clear, especially with all of the evidence that I've just provided you, that Chapter Master Valrak, who hides, of course, in power armor to hide the fact that he is a troll, is a danger to us all, because he is a character who's gone from Warhammer Fantasy to Warhammer Age of Sigmar to Warhammer 40k, and God only knows where he'll spread from there. We need to deal with this threat in our community sooner rather than later, which is why you need to go over there and subscribe to Chapter Master Valrak so that you can help me keep an eye on him. Maybe even make sure you show up in one of his live streams and become a member, because being a member allows you to get into his Discord. And if you're in his Discord, it'll make it so much easier to watch for these moments. And if we all get together and we document enough, we can prove that he is indeed Throg. We just have to wait until he slips up enough. Maybe if there are people who are closer to where he is in England, you know, that I'm pretty sure England's not real. Like, every time I've gone over there to visit, they take me to these like places that are clearly like an alternate reality. Like, it feels like an augmented reality studio. It's not a real country. It doesn't exist. But like, he's way up in the north, just like Throg was way up in the north. Norska, Manchester, or wherever, some random northern England thing. I don't remember. It's the same. It's all connected. It's all connected. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there. Have a good day. Okay.
Yes?
Yes. Yes, I need to speak to James' workshop.
Yes. Just call me James Work Squat.
I did what you asked. I put out the hit piece on Valrak. Now please, release my family.